With major airports like Los Angeles International boosting counterterrorism efforts in the wake of the down to Egypt Air flight, passengers around the U.S. can expect increasingly frustrating TSA experiences. Passengers subjected to long lines and missed flights are beginning to question whether the safety procedures are really worth it. And tonight, you'll hear from this Republican congressman credited with forming the TSA agency. Here he is.
You can't get a hold of a damn person in TSA, even as a member of Congress, nor would they take your calls. I'll tell you what, it's just unbelievable. And you can fail, and you will fail, and your attempts on the training and recruiting and all that will be a failure. I can tell you that, and I told you that on my sofa when you came in. Because you cannot recruit, you cannot train, you cannot retain, and you cannot administer. It's just a huge failing government program, and it will fail.
Florida Congressman John Mica joins me right now. Congressman Mica, welcome.
Well, good to be with you, but under some tough circumstances. Well, I am. A lot depends on our getting it right and keeping the American public safe.
You helped create this agency, the TSA. Why is it such a disaster now?
Well, it's spun out of control. We started out with 16,500 screeners when government failed to put in regulations even to direct screeners or to limit things that could be taken aboard. We grew to 22,000 to 35,000 at 45,000 screeners. That's just the tip of the iceberg. Then we have 13,000 screeners, non-screeners on top of that. We have the biggest bureaucracy created and government agencies. It's bigger than 7 cabinet offices, and they can't get it right. They spend money on equipment that doesn't work. They can't train and retain personnel. And now, because of their failure, which was disclosed by the media last fall, 95% failure rate with 45,000 screeners. In 2008, the media uncovered 75% failure rate with 35,000 screeners. So they got more screeners and a higher failure rate.
Look, I'll admit it. I've gotten a few large bottles of shampoo through those lines myself without a TSA agent even blinking. So it's
and that
clear.
bottle of shampoo, that bottle of shampoo doesn't pose a risk. What does matter is they've let 17 known terrorists go through airports 24 times and failed on that account. These are the reports that I get.
It's very scary, and this is a reality that we need to be confronting right now. How do we change this? I mean, do we need the private markets here? Do we need a company running the TSA as opposed to the government?
I'm trying to get them out of the personnel business because they can't manage the screeners. And screeners are not law enforcement or intelligence people. The most important role of government is the intelligence part, connecting the dots. That's what's failed every time. That's what's failed in Paris and Europe and some of these events. But we've got to get those terrorists before they get to the gate. Or if they get to the gate, we stop them before they board.
Congressman,
I think about Israel. They aren't capable of doing it.
You think about Israel
they're very good.
And the security they have, for example, at El Al, very different than anything you see in the U.S. Nonetheless, Israel is a small country. The United States is not. Can we do something similar to what they're doing, given that we are as large a country as
well? We've got to do it smart. You don't spend all your resources like they're doing now, shaking down 99% of the population that doesn't pose a risk. All these people that are waiting in line, they don't pose a risk. We're looking for specific people. I would profile, not on the basis of race or religion, ethnic background, but we can do some profiling, yes. But what we need to do is be targeting. We know in many cases who these individuals are that pose a risk. However, sometimes we don't even know who's working at the airports. We have thousands of people who are undocumented working behind secure areas in our airports.
Ambassador Woolsey was saying just earlier in the show, that we need to be very cautious about who
they aren't vetting TSA employees or secure workers. And if these are inside jobs like we had in the Sinai Peninsula, we're in a lot of trouble.
Congressman, thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Good to be with you. Thank you.